When you turn on your TV at midnight and see the military on the airwaves, it's either a declaration of war or very bad news for a sitting president, because it usually means a coup d'etat is underway. Now, there are times when a government pretends there's a coup attempt as a pretext to better keep its citizens in line, or to prolong its grip on power. This is sometimes called a fake coup. In February 2010, a Turkish newspaper published a story about a possible military coup. The alleged masterminds were detained. Today, most think the story was built on fabricated evidence, but this so-called coup allowed Turkish leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan to consolidate his power.
I cannot take the media, including Fox News, lecturing me about violence. I can't take it. How long did it take everyone in the media to start calling them insurrectionists, seditious? They're calling them insurgents now. Okay, so that's every Trump supporter? That's everybody who supports Trump? That's everybody that was there? What happened to the mostly peaceful protests?
Washington, D.C. has forgotten what it means to be an American patriot. They have forgotten who they work for. They work for we, the people.
And it is Ahab and Jezebel. Jezebel comes and tries to manipulate the masses.
The members of Congress, the members of the House of Representatives, the members of the United States Senate, those of you who are feeling weak tonight, those of you that don't have the moral fiber in your body, get some tonight, because tomorrow we the people are going to be here, and we want you to know that we will not stand for a lie. We will not stand for a lie. We are the ones that decided. We are the ones that will decide. Our path forward, America's future forward, it may not be a Republican Party. It may not be a Democratic Party. It will be the People's Party.
The gentleman will say his point of order.
Yes, ma'am. Point of order. The gentleman said that there were lies on this floor here today, looking over this direction. I ask that those words be taken down. We may have a disagreement on matters, but
Mr. Mann, it's not timely.
This side of the aisle liars.
No, the gentleman's name was not timely. You didn't register an appropriate time. The gentleman will proceed.
The question is, how many of these were actual coups and how many were just rebellions? First, we have to talk about the difference between a rebellion and a coup. The word coup implies a quick power shift that is not approved by the political process or the general populace. A small group literally takes power without the consent of the people. Rebellions are power shifts brought on by a popular mandate of the people. It's the result of the masses removing or replacing a government or its leaders.
For this list, we're defining a coup as the overthrow of a government by a rival political faction through illegal and typically violent means. Coups are carried out by one group of elites against another group of elites, so they're distinct from revolutions, invasions, civil wars, and uprisings, even though these all can overlap. And sometimes, life for the common people just goes on as normal. That said, there are always exceptions.
Maybe a regime is toppled at the barrel of a gun, or maybe it's a cordial escort out of the presidential palace. In most cases, the coup leaders get the ball rolling by taking over state media airwaves. It's the easiest way to convince the public and other military members that they have control of the country, even if they don't. In the volatile fog of a coup attempt, perception is reality.
Clearly, the FBI coordinated very closely with Obama on the investigation of Michael Flynn. And according to Andy McCarthy in the National Review, Obama was surprised that Putin did not retaliate when he imposed sanctions on Russia. And so Obama officials and the FBI collaborated to invent a Russia collusion narrative. Sally Yates says that in that meeting, she recalled Comey previously mentioning the Logan Act. So now we know, just 2 weeks before incoming President Trump was to take office, Obama was discussing Flynn about Russia, an issue already determined by the FBI to be groundless. Obama Obama was in the middle of the plot to take down Flynn and Trump.
What do you make of the double standard?
The double standard is more than that, I think, Sean, by a long measure. This is an effort to subvert the administration of President Donald Trump. It is nothing less. It is an effort by the deep state to roll over a duly elected president and a legitimate government and to break the will of the American people. This is no longer about Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals. This is about a full-on assault by the left, the Democratic Party, to absolutely carry out a coup d'etat against President Trump, aided by the left-wing media. There's no the suggestion there's collusion between Trump and the Russians when we have absolute evidence of collusion between the Clinton Foundation, Secretary of State Clinton, and the Russians. I mean, this,
with
my
real
God,
money.
what does it take?
I don't know what it takes.
This morning, President Trump explicitly called for demonstrations and protests to be peaceful. We got called a bunch of seditious traitors. Now, not since 1985 has a Republican president been sworn in, absent some Democrat effort to object to the electors. But when we do it, it is the new violation of all norms. And now I appreciate all the talk of coming together, but let us not pretend that our colleagues on the left have been free of some anti-democratic impulses just because we signed on to legal briefs and asked courts to resolve disputes. There were some on the left who said that we should not even be seated in the body.
You know, sometimes when you go through something like this, you see what people are made of. And Matt Gaetz is the real deal. I like him a lot.
But the point is there are two standards, one that applies to you and the other that applies to the pasty, pink-haired Antifa rioters. They can do whatever they want. They, of course, will go back to Sag Harbor at the end of the day and stay with their parents. It's totally fine. But Trump supporters, they're insurrectionists. They should be hunted down. Today, CNN unveiled a Soviet-style enemies list to make it a little easier to find all those Trump supporters and then destroy them.
And next, we will roll the tape on all of the president's enablers who have all helped to fuel the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
The swamp did not want to be drained, and they did everything they could to stop him. But sometimes you should be real careful about what you wish for, because I can imagine a scenario where Donald Trump could be even more powerful in a way out of office than when he was in. Let's see what happens, folks. I am deeply, deeply disappointed in the results, as I know you are. We have done everything we can, to a point. Now it's time for all of us to join the fight. A lot of us were on the sidelines, just watching, rooting him on, enjoying it, but not getting our hair mussed up, not getting dirty ourselves. It's about the change. That's about the change.